Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session of the market overview of the real estate market here on Ambergris, Caye, Belize. It is January 2023. Last time we did this session was October, so a few months ago, as high season was just starting to kick off. We are now in high season. January is definitely the peak. We had a really great Christmas season here, holiday season, and now we're just seeing this continued upward trend of guests here on the island. I love it. We can start to tell that the town's getting busy again when we have a little bit of golf cart traffic, which is funny to say traffic, but it is a fun vibe here and really just fun energy as people are coming to Ambergris Caye for the first time and really getting to experience what the island life is really like. So with that, let's just jump right in. My name is Rachel Jensen. I am the owner, broker, and agent at Realty Belize. I started coming here to Ambergris Caye in 2012 from New York originally, and this is my home. This is really where I've settled down, and I'm really excited to share with folks who are just either starting to explore the market, or perhaps you've been here before, already own property here, and you're looking for some more investments or a place that you maybe want to call home at this point. I do sit on the board for the Belize National Association of Real Estate Agents here in Belize. And as I mentioned, just excited to share with you a lot about what's going on in the market today. So I'm expecting our time to be about 30 minutes while we're on the session here. We're going to go through a quick overview of Ambergris Caye. In our October session, we talked a lot more about Ambergris Caye specifically. So if this island is new to you, hop back to that October session and then tune in to learn more if you're looking for that extended version. Also, we're going to go through top property opportunities right now, and then we'll go through some FAQs. So Ambergris Caye is an island off the coast of Belize mainland. We're about 40 minutes northeast of Belize City. You can see there the star representing Belize City. Two ways to get to us. One is by Puddle Jumper, a little Cessna Caravan. It's about a 15-minute flight from Belize City. Otherwise, you can always take the boat over. It's about an hour and a half ferry from Belize City to our island over here. So two ways. You can just figure out which is the best for you. We do tend to have folks do one-way boat, one-way flight, just to see what it is like. As we go through the session here, I'm going to be talking about and referencing places with regards to being north or south and how many miles north of south. Now, know that Ambergris Caye is the name of the island. San Pedro is the primary town on the island. Now, within Ambergris and San Pedro, we have a ton of different neighborhoods. But when I talk about a property and I say 3 miles north, for example, we're referencing 3 miles north of the town or 3 miles north of the bridge. You can see where this pin is here on the map, and then also right over here. And then that is located right over here. That's that same pin, just to put it in perspective for you. So while the mile is 25 miles long, and that actually may not sound like a lot, especially for those of you who are so used to driving longer distances, do note that we drive golf carts here on the island. So even if something is 3-4 miles away, it may take 15 minutes to get there by golf cart. So just note that as you are looking at properties, and perhaps you're looking at properties outside of this session too, always take note to see where it's located, because if it is, 3 miles, for example, while that may take a minute in the States, it may take and it will take more here on the island because of our mode of transportation. And also we're dodging potholes every now and again. So San Pedro is located towards the southern part of the island, but north is over the bridge, and then south is south of San Pedro town. So something I want to note, especially if you're looking at ownership of real estate here on Ambergris Caye from an investment perspective, San Pedro is the area of the country that is getting and attracting the most number of visitors or tourists. There's a big reason for that. We parallel the reef. I'm going to go back over here. You can see where the reef is at. So we get a lot of people who are coming for the diving and fishing and snorkeling and just really enjoying the water sports. Now, there's also a lot of fly fishing going on in the lagoons and the flat part of the flats of the island. And so we do tend to get a lot of people coming in and checking out the island for that reason. Also, it's a great place to be. You have a lot of families who are coming down, honeymooners, couples, and people who just want to get away from it and have a little bit of R&R. And I mentioned that we drive golf carts, and it's fun. It's something different for people to experience and do. So as you're looking at the numbers here, you can see San Pedro. I mean, when you just look at the numbers here, San Pedro is just by far blowing all the other places out of the water. So over 100,000 people came to the island, and that is without including November, December. November, December are considered high season. So this is directly from the Belize Tourism Board website, taken right before our session here, right before January 10th session. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, they'll get the rest of the year entered here, and you'll be able to get a full scope of what the numbers look like. But you can always check on the website, BTB, the Belize Tourism Board, bottom right over here is where you're able to find this information. But San Pedro is often always leading the charts, I would say. And do note here, I just want to make a note that San Pedro and Ambergris Caye tend to be used interchangeably. So on this chart here, it says San Pedro. On another BTB chart, it says Ambergris Caye. So just bear that in mind as you are doing your homework and exploring a little bit more. But again, you can see San Pedro is just taking the cake here when it comes to the highest number of tourists. And if you're an investor, you probably want to be where the visitors are going. Here's our second chart by the BTB, and this is the occupancy average occupancy by area. Here you can see they used Ambergris Caye instead of San Pedro, but Ambergris Caye here, you can see occupancy is a little bit less than a 40%, and this is not including November and December, but November and December I'm expecting would bring up the numbers quite a bit. And the only region that's higher is Belize City. We do expect that in a sense because there are a lot of people who are going there for business, less hotels there as well, but it's more of that business hub where sometimes people are flying in for a night or getting in late at night, they're staying overnight, or they're going to be staying there perhaps if they have an early flight the next day. But you can see here, Ambergris Caye does have the higher percentage when it comes to occupancy. I also like to highlight this because when you're looking at performers or profit and loss statements, you tend to want to look and get an understanding of what your numbers could potentially look like. So while these numbers are lower than they have been pre-COVID, pre-COVID was higher than this. I think Ambergris Caye was about 52, 55% occupancy. Just note that there is a lot of potential for those numbers to be increased. All right, let's talk about the current market conditions here on the island. So just generally, there's a very low number of foreclosures. It's a very low leveraged market. So what that means is there's not a lot of banks that are financing properties here in Belize. A lot of times, if there is financing, it's seller financing. And if people are going that route, then they're going to be working directly with the seller. Now, what they'll also tend to do is if they do need to get some assistance financially, instead of going to their bank in the States to get a loan for this property or a mortgage for this property in Belize, because banks in the States or Canada or wherever you're from are not going to loan you money for a property in Belize or give you a mortgage on a property in Belize. They have no jurisdiction over if you default or not. But what they will do is they'll refinance your home. You get a second mortgage on your home. They might give you a line of credit as well. And so people tend to go that route. So then they have the cash to buy here in Belize. Typically, that route also has a lower interest rate than anything you may find here in Belize. Typically, seller financing is short-term, 3 to 5 years. Interest rates can be 6, 7, 8%. So they're not, what you're used to, not that 30% or the 20% down 30-year term that we're used to. I have another session on financing here on YouTube. So you feel free to search through the sessions if you want a little bit more about financing. But on average, we have about 15, 20% of sellers who are offering seller financing. Now, they may not always advertise that they're offering seller financing. So if you see a property, it doesn't mention anything about that, but it's something that you'd be interested in knowing if they offer, just put an offer in on the property and see if they're willing to work with you there. As you may expect, there are more condos and single family homes on the market right now. There are a very limited number of single family homes. There are a lot of condo developments and resorts here on the island. And so we do tend to see that there's a higher premium, of course, for single family homes, which makes sense. It's one home, we'll say, per lot, whereas condos, it's multiple properties per one lot. Now, what I found the most is, and people asking me the most about, are 2-bedroom condos. And right before the session here, I just did a quick look at the listings that we have from our different real estate agents. And there are 58 2-bedroom condos available right now. Depending on when you're listening to this, it could be more, it could be less. While I'm doing the session, there may even be one that gets added. So, but just as I pulled this information before, 58 that are available for ownership, and that's a resale. This does not include developments, right? This does not include developments that are offering 2 bedrooms. Or like pre-construction or anything like that. That's 2 bedrooms that are available to own and get into right now. The average price for the 2-bedroom is about $405,000 US dollars. All of the pricing I'm going to have in the session here is in US dollars. So please bear that in mind. Transactions here between foreigners do tend to happen in US dollars. Now, single family homes are at a premium right now. Beachfront, you're typically looking at $1 million US, and it may be a little bit less than that if you're going far north or far south, but typically you can expect to be paying at least $1 million if you're looking for a beachfront home. Those do tend to be a little bit larger, 3, 4 bedrooms. If you're looking within a development or you're looking off beach and perhaps in town, maybe it's a 2, 3 bedroom home you're looking at, those single families start at about $400,000. Now, if you're looking at a home site, so undeveloped land, it ranges tremendously depending on the location and the utilities and where it's at, of course, its location. But in town, you're looking on average about $60,000 to $100,000 US for a lot, a home site within San Pedro and a little bit north and south. If you're looking at Secret Beach has an abundance of lots, or a few thousand there. And so you will tend to find that there's not as much competition in the marketplace. So there's not as much appreciation there, but you're looking at about 45,000. This is for an inland lot. Also, Secret Beach lots do not have utility hookups, so they do tend to be a little bit lower. If you're looking for a beachfront lot, so you want to be there on the Caribbean, I mean, I would say just going with the mindset that's going to be about $400,000 at least. As you go up north and south, far north, far south, you may find it less than that. May not be utilities, may not be road access, but you will probably find it lower than the 400,000 as you go far north and far south. Also, if you're willing to look at the bay, I personally think the bay is beautiful. It's where you have the sunset. You also don't have the seagrass that comes up, so it's a really, really beautiful area. You can find bayfront for about 200,000. So bear that in mind. And maybe if you're looking at home site, just expand what you're looking at, expand your horizons, because you may find something more along the lines of what you want if you go north, south, or perhaps you go west. And we've all heard the old adage before: location, location, location. So you will tend to find that properties that are in prime locations, you're in the Tres Cocos area right after the bridge, that's a prime location. We refer to it as the Beverly Hills. A lot of people want to be there. It's close to town, but it's, the suburbs, we'll say, of the downtown area that you're looking to be spending a pretty penny there. And then as you get right up and down the coast, you will tend to find that those are at a premium too. So just to recap, the bridge is where you see the pin here on the map. And we go north and south of that location. There's north, then there's town, which is a little bit south of the bridge. And then beyond town is what we refer to as south. So I have about 13 different opportunities for you available. I did pick 5 that were under 200,000. I've had a handful of folks reach out and they say 200, 250 is about the range they want to be in. So there's not really much on the market right now. If you came to me 5 years ago with 250, 300 as a budget, there would have been a lot more, of course. But we are starting to see that, numbers just are continuing to go up. Of course, there's inflation, but at the end of the day, it's just limited inventory here. And so we are continuing to see numbers go up. And I did want to mention that as well, because I do have a lot of folks who are looking at retiring here down the line, maybe 3, 4, 5 years, looking to own property now, rent it out, generate that rental income, and then from there, live in it. Or perhaps people who realize 5 years from now, prices are going to be even higher. So they want to pick it up now. Maybe they won't rent it out. Maybe they'll come down on vacation and every now and again, let friends, family use it. But at least that way they're picking it up now. So with that being said, let's jump right in. This is a studio option located about 1.5 miles south of town. It's about 7-8 minute golf cart ride to get into the heart of San Pedro area. And this is an area, San Pablo, is very popular for expats who are coming who may not necessarily have the beachfront budget, right? But they want something nice. They want to be in a quiet, safe part of town. And the San Pablo area is great for that. This studio is a great place, just I'd say have as a landing pad, right? If you don't necessarily need tons, but you want to have nice views, you have canal views from this, these 3rd floor studios are great options. Also, they do well in the long-term rental market. So you can always hold on to it now and then rent it out. And something that's very unique about this property is there's 70% financing being offered, 70% financing being offered. So very rare. Typically you find maximum of 50% being offered. So this is one, if you have that $30,000, $40,000 to put down, you can put down that 30%, finance the rest, and then have renters come in the meantime. I want to mention quickly, you'll see numbers here on the left-hand side of the screen. Do make a note if you see anything that you want more information about. I'm going to go fairly quickly through these. I'm not going to get into every single nitty-gritty detail, but if you want to know those nitty-gritty details, message me there. You see info at Luna Realty Belize with that number that you see there on the screen. And then from there, I'll be able to get those details to you. So, all right, let's jump to number 2. Number 2 is a property that I really like. It is located about 1.5 miles north of the bridge. So it is about 10 minutes. I'd say 10 minutes to get to this property here, maybe a little bit less than that, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, depending on how fast you're driving. But it's located on the bay side of the island. So you have these really beautiful views. You're on the 1st floor here, so you can walk right out to the pool, but you have these really beautiful views. You have the sunset right there. And then you're also really close to town. You're on the paved road, so you don't have to worry about trying to get over potholes or anything along those lines. But it is a studio. It's a little bit larger than the one that we just saw before. This one's going for $155,000. Now you'll see I mentioned no financing. I mentioned no financing because it's not mentioned in any of the listings. But, what I always recommend to people is if you see a property that you really like and you want to put an offer in, put that offer in. And if you want financing, ask for financing. You never know until you actually ask. So it's a little bit more work here in Belize when it comes to the real estate because we don't have that traditional financing. And you have to get a little creative when it comes to putting your offer in, but that's why you work with a real estate agent who can get it done for you. So it does, I mentioned to you, have the bay view, sunset view, and a little bit larger in size there at almost 650 square feet. All right, number 3 that we're going to jump to, this one just came on the market recently. It's located at a complex called Mara Laguna, about a quarter-mile north of the bridge. And this is a popular place for long-term renters to come, also vacation renters who want to be close to town. Vacasa does vacation rentals within this complex. But this is a 1-bed, 1-bath. It's a large one, about 1,500 square feet. It's located on the 2nd floor. And like I mentioned, located a quarter-mile north of the bridge. So 30 seconds after the bridge, so you're close to town. HOA is about $425 a month, but of course can get you all those details as you are interested. 2-bed, 1-bath at Mara Laguna. This is option number 3. And they did a nice job here in the interior. I've seen a lot of the Mara Laguna condos that look a little outdated, but here you can see they put a bit of work in to make it a little bit more up to date. All right, we're going to jump to number 4. This is one of my favorite ones that just came on the market right now. And I think the reason for that is because it has this really large veranda, over 400 square feet, that faces the bay. And then it also has the sunset. You're only also located about half a mile from the heart of the downtown area, a couple of minutes walk just to get into town, but you're in your own little oasis. It is part of the Best Western program, so it can be rented out through Best Western on a nightly basis. You can live in it. It can be long-term rented, but it is located on the top floor. It's a 3rd floor condo. And you can see here the bottom right, the veranda. Now the neighbor, there are only 2 of these condos in the entire complex with that large veranda. The neighbor did end up tiling the bottom there, which I would recommend to put a little bit of money into the veranda to make it look even nicer. You can even add a pergola or some shade over there so that you're not in the sun or it's not all exposed to the sun. But there's a lot that you can do to really create a nice warm space there. This condo was in the rental market, so the owner didn't really put much into it, but there's a ton that can be put in to really personalize this space a little bit. There's also an owner lockout closet, a really large owner lockout closet where you can put a washer dryer should you choose to do so. But you have the 2 verandas, the one right off of the bedroom, as you can see over here, and then the large outdoor veranda, which amounts to over 400 square feet. This one's being offered for $195. There's no financing available for this one. All right, jumping to number 5 here. This is at Aruna. This is located west of San Pedro town. There are 2 boats for the community that go back and forth between town. It's about a 5-minute boat ride. You can also drive up to Secret Beach. It's about 15 minutes on a nice road by golf cart to drive up to Secret Beach. And this one, does have 50% financing available, 50% financing available. This is the studio model. What I really enjoy about these is there's this overhanging deck. So you step on it and you just have water around you. This is the canal over here. It goes out to the bay. If you can follow my cursor, the bay is over in this area over here. Just a really incredibly beautiful space. And it's neat because you're away from town, but yet you're really close to town, right? You're not in the downtown area. You're not in the craziness of it all. You have these beautiful sunsets and it just really feels like you're with nature, but you're not really far. You're just a 5-minute boat ride. So really neat to have this location over here. This is in the Costa del Sol area. It's grown a lot over the last year, 2 years. There's a lot more development that's going over there and gaining popularity. All right, number 6. Now, if you're looking for a unique investment opportunity, this is what I would recommend. It is located also over there in that Costa del Sol area. It's a tiny home, over the water tiny home. It's getting constructed now. Unfortunately, the sellers have to sell before it's completed due to unforeseen circumstances, but it's a really neat model. It's a studio. You can see that it has this window to look down into the water below. And it's neat because it's a hybrid model when it comes to being off grid. So you have solar panels that'll operate during the day. So that's typically when you're using a lot of your energy with the AC, it's warm out. And then it'll connect up to the grid at night. So it helped to reduce your electric bills, which is always good. It's currently under construction. They're aiming over the next 10 to 12 months to have it ready, open for occupancy. And then there's a large veranda. So while the interior is fairly small at about 333 square feet, the rooftop is the same amount of space. And you can kind of see here in the bottom, but there'll be a palapa area and then a shaded area, and then it'll be open there. So really nice space. And you can't really see it in any of these pictures, unfortunately, but there's a nice big deck on the back as well. So you have the lagoon around you, and it's really like a tidal lake. So you have the water going in and out. It's a really, really beautiful, beautiful spot on the island. All right, jumping to number 6 here. This is one of the most affordable 2-bedrooms that I would recommend. I found some other 2-bedrooms that leave a lot to be desired, but this one I'd say is the best, one of the best values. There's a little bit of upgrading that would need to be done, likely in this, but it has really good bones and it has really good structure. Now, this one is going for a little bit less than $250. It's a 2-bed, 1-bath, 900 square feet. And it's located about 1.5 miles south of town. So the first condo I showed you, that studio, that's going for $99,000. This one's located close by. You have the bagel shop around. You also have a coffee shop. You have a lot of restaurants. So there's a lot going on in this neighborhood as well. Not currently any financing, but of course you can always put an offer in and see what they say. And this one is Caribbean front. You can't see it too well from the picture over here, but you can look out in the distance and you have the Caribbean waters right there. And there's they built a huge seawall over here, I'd say over the last few years. I remember I used to jog down this beach when I lived down south, and they just had a little beach there. So they've extended it and it looks awesome now. Really, really nice spot that they've created south of town. All right, I'm going to jump to the best value for a 2-bed, 2-bath. This is at Bermuda Palms. It's located on the 2nd floor. You are directly Caribbean front. So you can see here from your veranda, you can see the pool, you can see the Caribbean. There's a little bar restaurant on site as well. It's a smaller complex. So for those of you who don't want to be around tons of people, this is a great spot. It's also located about a quarter mile north of the bridge. So Mara Laguna, that other property I showed you, that's about 1,500 square feet, the 1-bedroom, 1-bath. It's located just catty corner to that. So they're very, very close. And you can see they have a more modern bathroom. I'd say the kitchen probably needs a little bit of updating, but it'd be great for those who are looking for just a really good value. You're not really finding a lot of 2-bed, 2-baths within that $350 range that are on the Caribbean here. So I think that it really just hits the spot for a lot of people. All right, let's jump over to number 9. This is the best value for a 3-bed, 2-bath. This is at Las Terrazas, located on the ground floor. So you can walk right out and be at the pool. You do have the Caribbean views from your living room. You can see a really nice modern kitchen. This owner has not rented out his condo. He's come and gone from the States, and it is time for him to sell now. But there is owner financing it. He is willing to finance 50%. And you do, like I mentioned, have the Caribbean views. This property tends to get recognized by Condé Nast Traveler quite a bit, preferred luxury traveler. It's a really beautiful property. They maintain it unbelievably well. And it just has this really modern, clean feel. So if you're somebody who likes things, you can see here from the bottom left picture, that's the restaurant, that's the pool. If you're somebody who likes things a little bit more modern, this would be the right property for you. This is located about 3.5 miles north. And I'd say it's about a 15 to 17 minute golf cart ride from the heart of San Pedro to get to this property here. All right, number 10, single family homes. So this is one of the most affordable single family homes I found on the market right now. As I mentioned to you, there are a lot of properties out there, and single family homes tend to be higher in price tag. This one is a brand new build, 2-bed, 2.5 bath. And it's about 4.5 miles south. So it takes about 22 minutes from the heart of town to get to this property. But it's not located directly on the bay, but it is one block or one row behind, and you do have water views. So from the pool deck here, from the 2nd floor, and then there's a whole rooftop veranda up there. Those all do have water views. These are the 2 bedrooms. If you can follow my cursor, bedroom here and then bedroom here on the 2nd floor. And then through the windows, you're able to see the bays, which is really quite beautiful. And also the adjoining lot is for sale. So if you're somebody who's thinking about future expansion, future investment, you can put little casitas up, or perhaps do really what you want with that property. That is always an option for you as well. That's not included in the $399, but it is also available. So here you can see some interior. It comes semi-furnished, so it really gives you some room to personalize it and make it your own. A lot of the times the properties here in the country come fully furnished. But because this one is brand new construction, hasn't had anyone living in there yet, no owners to come and fill it up with all their stuff, that gives you the chance to fill it up with what you like. I'm going to jump now to a luxury 2-bed, 2-bath. And this is at Oceans 23. It's about 2.5 miles north of town. So about 12, 14 minutes north of the bridge. maybe a little bit less than that, but it's a larger 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,850 square feet. So quite large in size. There is owner financing. And what's neat about this one is located there on the first floor. And then there are stairs to go down from the veranda right there to the Caribbean. So a really nice location. There's also the same model on the second floor. The same owner has them both, and they are looking to sell one. They don't want to sell both, but they do want to sell one. But it is certainly one of the more luxurious condos I have seen on the market. You can see here, just even from the kitchen, right? The kitchen is really beautiful with the stainless steel, custom mahogany. Their travertine floor, tile floors throughout. Even the molding and the ceiling is just not something that you see commonly throughout the island. So very, very, very well maintained. I'm going to jump to number 12. This is the last when it comes to residential opportunities. This is a beachfront single family home, ideal for rentals. It's located about 8 miles north, so about an hour by golf cart from the heart of the downtown area. 5-bed, 5-bath, 5.5 bath. They all have each bedroom has an in-suite bath. Great for rentals. I think this would really kill it in the Airbnb market. But you can see it's a larger place. You have that incredible stretch of beachfront right over there. And it just really, I think, encapsulates what a lot of folks are looking for when they're coming to look for an Airbnb with multiple bedrooms to accommodate larger groups. So I think that would be the great option. And then number 13, commercial business, is Croc Sunset Sports Bar. The owner here has done an incredible job at building up the business. He built it from the ground up, and after 5 years decided it's time for a break and to just relax a little bit. So if you're somebody who's looking to take over or acquire a business that's done quite well, very well established, good reputation on the island, this could be the place for you. So I'm going to just do a quick recap there. Hopefully you have all your numbers jotted down. All right. So number 1 is the studio going for $99,000. Number 2 is another studio going for $155,000, El Estero. Number 3 is at Mara Laguna, 1-bed, 1-bath for $165,000. This is a 1-bed, 1-bath at $195,000 at the Best Western. Number 5 is a studio model at Aruna. This is going for $199,000. Now we have the studio over the water tiny home, very, very unique concept, going for $215,000. Most affordable 2-bed, 2-bath is going for $249,000 right now. And this is at Royal Palm. Number 8 is at Bermuda Palms. This is going for $335,000. I think this is the best value when it comes to location, views, and then also interior. Number 9, best value for a 3-bed, 2-bath at $375,000 at Las Terrazas. Number 10, most affordable single family home, a 2-bed, 2.5 bath in the Tarpon Bay area, going for $399,000. And then also a luxury 2-bed, 2-bath located at Oceans 23, going for $575,000. Last but not least, the best beachfront for rentals, 8 miles north at $895,000. And then if you're looking for that business, consider Crocs at 1.5, located in that Tres Pocos area. High number of tourists and travelers in this location over here. Very, very good location. So I'm going to do a quick poll here. Is when are you looking to own? Feel free to type into the chat section when it is you're looking to own. I'll do a quick review. All right, looks like most people are looking, a lot of people within 1 to 3 months, but it looks like we have a lot of people here who are looking at number E, which is 1+ year. That's great, guys. I'm glad you're doing your research. It's always important to do that and get to know the market and learn a little bit more before you dive right in. Now, I highly recommend that you stay connected with us. We have various ways to do so. We have webinars covering either new developments that are coming on the market, developments that are under construction and their progress. We have discovery tour weekends. We also have 1-day field trips. So if you're already coming down to the island, you don't want to spend a whole 3-4 days looking at real estate, but you do want to do a 1-day tour, we do that as well. We will be publishing more dates for more tours coming up in the near future. But in the meantime, feel free to stay connected, reach out if you're listening to this session after these dates have passed and you want to learn a little bit more. We do record all of our sessions, upload them on YouTube, so you will be able to see the Aruna construction. And then also the next one we have on the 31st of January, the next webinar is going to be about some of the best Caye estate and farmette properties. So we hope to see you there. And then thank you everybody so much for joining. Thank you for coming here to the end, and feel free to reach out for specific property information. My name is Rachel Jensen, and I look forward to hearing from you. Bye, everyone.